Why do bad things happen to good people? People who try as hard as they can to follow God's commandments, people who pray to God, people who are fear God like good Christians should be, and then they get cancer, or then their sister gets into an accident or something like that. Why does God let this happen? And religious folk, they had like 2,000 years of practice in answering this very basic question because it would constantly come up. And the answers were something like, oh, Lord is testing us. Lord is testing your faith. Or something like, you know, suffering for God makes us closer to Him. Or in suffering, we become, I don't know, more enlightened or something. The point is, now it's up to you to decide whether this clear contradiction is something that explanation makes sense to you, or you recognize it for just something made up on the fly just to get you to shut up. That's up to you to decide. But the point is, when somebody points out a clear contradiction and the religious people don't really have a convincing answer, they just say, the Lord works in mysterious ways. Uh, I've heard it, you've heard it, it's a common thing. You don't understand something, so next time you come up on some contradiction that clearly God shouldn't allow to happen. Should you start questioning God, existence of Him, or His intention? Should you start questioning the doctrine? No, of course not. You should not, absolutely not be questioning it. He just works in mysterious ways. Okay, He is His wisdom is just so much grander than you can even imagine. That just because your tiny little reptilian brain can't figure it out doesn't mean it isn't His grander wisdom. It's just mysterious to you because you just you're just an imbecile compared to Him. So He works in mysterious ways, and you should just accept that and stop asking too many damn questions because you sound like a freaking heretic. Well, so just to simplify, okay, when good things happen to good people, that's no explanation is needed, right? That's God's will. That's everything's going according to plan, okay? When bad things happen to good people, well, it's also God's will. Does that disprove the idea of God? No, no. He just works in mysterious ways. So no matter what happens, you cannot disprove God. Well, climate change also works in mysterious ways. Let's say that you hear on the news that somewhere there was like a record low temperature. Not just cold, not just unusually cold, but like record cold. As in, never in the history of man has it been recorded colder on this day in this particular locale. Like recently, they had snow fall in Hawaii for the first time ever, or they had to heat these Italian vineyards with torches because it was so cold, unusually cold, that the frost was killing the grapevines. And if you're like me, you're looking at this and you're like, whoa, how is this even possible? The planet is heating up. The global warming is becoming more and more intense. And yet we're setting these record cold temperatures. Things happen on the cold side that have never happened before. Shouldn't they? Things should be getting warmer, warmer, warmer. And yet we're setting record colds somewhere on some day. What's going on? And they will come up with explanations like, enough people ask these questions, they'll bring some PhD guy on TV and he'll say something like, well, you got global warming, it melts the ice at the Arctic, and then the cold water now all of a sudden comes down, and then it makes things colder than they've ever been. Or they had this like, what are they, polar vortex back in 2012. I don't know what that is. I don't remember what it is, but it's probably our fault because it's never appeared before. So it's all climate change anyway, and it's all our fault. And whether these explanations make sense to you or not, I don't know. It's up to you to decide. But the point is, the climate is way more complex, okay? It's way more complex than your stupid, uneducated reptilian brain can comprehend. And so when something happens that's a contradiction to the climate change, global warming hypothesis, should you start questioning the whole doctrine? No, absolutely not. It just works in mysterious ways. Ways that to you are mysterious, again, because you're uneducated, you're not as smart as these guys on TV. You'll never comprehend what they're talking about. So, don't question. Just accept the answer. And, so you don't sound like some climate denier, some crazy motherfucker. So to simplify, right? When temperatures get warmer, that's global warming. Okay, no explanation needed, common sense. When temperatures get colder, it's also global warming. It just works in mysterious ways. Well, I think you see the point. Both religions, Christianity and global warming, have this, works in mysterious ways effect. So it's coming. The apocalypse is coming. It's because of you, the carbon footprint sinner. And it's something you can't even disprove because no matter which way the temperature goes, it's global warming. Well, damn, you're screwed, but that's okay. You're not really screwed because they came up with a solution. They're just going to need a little bit more money from you. Which brings us to part 4.